Oh, there you go.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the Foxborough Zoning Board of Appeals, November 17th meeting. The time being 7 p.m., Carrol Advertising requests a special sign permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 213 Signs, Section 213-3C1A, and Note 2 of Section 213 6A1, Table 2, Sign District 1 dimensional requirements to erect a two-sided digital billboard. The proposed billboard will be located at 45 Washington Street, which is Assessor's Map 010-004 in Sign District 1. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
You
evening.
are.
Dan Merrican with Legacy Engineering, here with John Carroll, the applicant.
Okay.
I will share my screen.
Okay, before you begin, as you can see, there are three of us here, and one of us, Kurt, can you hear us? One of us should be on by Zoom.
Was there.
He was there.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Okay, so there are four of us. Only three of us vote,
Okay.
okay? And the people who will vote will be me and Kim Mellon and the person you can't see, Kurt Yegian. Kurt, you're the voting member tonight.
That sounds good. I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Okay. So, as the chair indicated, we submitted a request for a special sign permit. The site is 45 Washington Street, which is the Rodman Ford site. We've submitted a plot plan, a drawing of the billboard, this detail here, which demonstrates that there are no billboards within 1,000 feet of this billboard. There's a billboard on the far side that's slightly more than 1,000 feet. And there's a static billboard on the same side of us that is more than 500 feet from the billboard that's proposed. We have provided a plot plan. This is the Rodman Ford property. The billboard would be out front. This is near the lower driveway. As you come through the underpass under Route 1, it is down near there, and you can see a sub-detail in the top left here. It'll go in the grass strip between Route 1 and the parking lot. It'll be 10 feet off of the property line as required. We provided you with a drawing of the billboard. We have indicated that it's requested to be a two-sided digital billboard, 14 by 48, which is a standard size. But I believe you want, John, you want the flexibility to do a static, perhaps, if you need to?
Yeah, there's a second element to the approval process, and one of the things that they consider is traffic studies for the digitals. And in the event that the approval is given tonight and we go on to the next phase of the approval process, and it gets approved conditionally on the state level, the condition would be a traffic study. And it takes a year for the study to be completed. And in the event that they find that maybe one side might be sort of a distraction more than the other, or it's likely that it's going to be no distractions. But in the event that they do find that there's a distraction, we want to be able to have it as a static sign and not a digital.
Would you say just one side static or?
Well,
or
we
both?
don't know.
We don't-
However, just the flexibility to, so I guess the approval for static or digital.
Yeah, if you're inclined to grant the approval, we would ask that, it would allow either option.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the request.
The biggest question that I had, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's digital or static, is the way the road runs. You've got, if you're traveling south on Route 1, you're higher than you would be if you're traveling north. So if you're traveling south, would a motorist be able to see without any difficulty the portion of the sign that is facing north?
Yes.
Okay, and it's going, I mean, our bylaw allows you to go up to 50 feet. That would allow?
Yeah, so yeah, we would ask that it be 50 feet tall, and I was actually over there today getting my oil changed. So I mean, I didn't measure it, but that overpass is probably, 20 or 25 feet above the lower road. So the top of the billboard is at 50 feet, the billboard's 14 feet tall, so the bottom of the billboard there is at 36 feet above ground. So yeah, they'd be able to see it.
Okay. Questions?
So this, yes, I do. So this will be 10 feet back. I just want
10 feet back.
to make sure that is actually going to be the case. It looks like it's a little bit tight over there, and 10 feet is what it needs to be,
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. That has always been the case, but sometimes that is a little difficult for some applicants. So just
Yeah,
want to
we
make
have
sure.
the space into the parking lot to overhang
Okay.
into the parking lot too, so that's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good. What's the closest residence to there?
They would be in Walpole. So the Rodman property backs up to the town of Walpole, so the closest resident would be a ways away. So this is a house back here, right? So that is over the town line, that looks like a house, that's 1,100 feet or so behind the Rodman building through the woods.
Okay, so where the E is, you're saying,
Right where the E is on Walpole.
roughly, okay. Okay, it's easier to see on that one than this one, okay? Let me see. I think that's it for right now, thank you.
As long as Lorraine is here and Kurt is there, why don't you go first? Any questions? Kurt, any questions?
The only question that I had, and this may be a topic for a different discussion, but I know in the past we've imposed some restrictions on not advertising, I think, adult entertainment on the billboards, and I presume that the billboards will be, changing images and of a brightness that is within compliance of our sign laws.
Yeah, I mean, we have, if we approve, we have a list of about a page and a half worth of conditions, which I'll, go through. Number one, you would obviously be required to comply with our bylaw provisions, and obviously you have to comply with the state, regulations. We do add other, other conditions to that. So Kurt, to answer your question, that would all be within the conditions that we impose.
Understood. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, there's nobody here. Anybody from the public? Any other questions then?
No.
Okay, why don't we, a motion to close the public portion?
I move we close the public portion.
Kurt, will you second that?
I second that.
Okay, we have to do this by roll call. So Kim,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
and Barney, yes. I've got no problem. I think you see in our questions that we don't have any problem. I'm a little bit uncertain how to draft it, but I'm sure that I could come up with something that would indicate that we're approving an electronic billboard contingent upon obtaining state approval for that, and if not, a static billboard would be acceptable. So let me go through the conditions. It'll be a little bit more elegant when I write it than when I read it, but let me just tell you what we do. And this is standard. Actually, this is the first. I think, John, you built the very, very first billboard on Route 1 on the corner
We
road.
were under the pilot program.
Yeah.
And ironically, God rest, Don Rodman, he was connected with all the stadies because of his parking and just all his, just connections. So he was able to get me connected to the state police colonel that was able to get me lickety-split, the traffic, the data that I needed. So I got out ahead of the rest of them, I guess,
As far as the pilot.
as far as the pilot goes, and here we are. So it went well, and that was the first one.
Yeah, this would really be, as far as our sign bylaw now, which is different than what it was then, this would be the first. We've converted a static to electronic, but this
Yeah.
would be the first that anybody has requested, to put one up where there wasn't already, one there.
Yeah, and we have another, a sort of an additional document with the town too, in addition to what
Yeah.
what these sort of conditions
Yep.
are, so.
So let me go through them. So the first is that the billboard can't exceed 672 square feet in sign area, can't exceed 50 feet in height, has to be set back at least 10 feet from each lot line of the subject property and must be situated on the subject property so that it's outside of a 500-foot radius from any existing static billboard. And again, if it's going to be electronic, outside of a 1,000-foot radius from any existing electronic billboard. And the edge of the proposed billboard can't be less than 10 feet from the Route 1 road layout. 2, the construction and design of the billboard is to be as set forth in the plan that you provided to us. And the billboard is to be situated on the property as set forth both in that aerial plan and in the plan that you showed before. 3, no modification of the billboard as set forth in the decision is permitted without our prior written approval. 4, Carroll advertising is required in accordance with signed by law section 213-3E11 to establish a bond or other financial surety with the town of Foxborough treasurer in the amount of $20,000 towards payment of the cost of any future removal in the event that the billboard is abandoned. That bond or other financial surety has to be submitted at the time that you request a construction permit from the building commissioner. 5, the permit that we granted, we grant is specific to Carroll advertising, and in accordance with signed by law section 213-3J, it can't be assigned, transferred, or conveyed to any other person or entity without our prior written authorization. 6, in the event that Carroll Advertising transfers ownership of the billboard to any other person or entity at any time subsequent to the issuance of this decision, the new owner of the billboard is required to also obtain a special sign permit from us and to establish a bond or other financial surety with the town. 7, Carroll Advertising shall at all times in connection with the operation of the billboard comply with the respective provisions of, and I'll list our signed by law sections as well as 700 CMR 3.17, all of which are incorporated in our decision by reference. 8, in the event that the town of Foxborough chief of police or building commissioner determines that glare or writing from the billboard, and this would obviously be more with electronic than it would be with static, impairs the vision of motorists on Washington Street or otherwise interferes with the safe operation of motor vehicles, then Carroll Advertising is required to reduce the intensity of the sign to a level that's acceptable to that town official. 9, Carroll Advertising shall provide display time on the billboard for emergency announcements requested by the town of Foxborough, and up to 6 hours per month of display time on the billboard for public announcements that are requested by the town. I think that would also have to be just pertinent to electronic. 10, advertising on the billboard for adult entertainment facilities and businesses is prohibited. 11, Carroll Advertising is to obtain such permit or permits as may be required for the construction and operation of the billboard from the Office of Outdoor Advertising and from the Town of Foxborough Building Commissioner. And 12, if you do get state approval for an electronic billboard, you have to enter into a mitigation agreement with the Town of Foxborough.
It's been executed already.
It's done.
Okay, great. Anything else? Kurt, anything else?
No, nothing from me, Barney.
Okay. Those are standard with us. Even on the one that we allowed for conversion from static to electronic, these are pretty much the exact same conditions that we imposed. And I think probably a lot of the conditions are the ones you've seen in other towns.
One quick question. There's a possibility that Carroll Advertising may transfer the board to the property owner. Is that something that could be, is that something that could be incorporated into this, or would we need to come back for that?
When you say the property owner, meaning Rodman Ford itself?
Correct.
But Carroll would be running the billboard, correct?
Yes.
Why don't we cross that particular bridge when we come to it?
Okay.
Okay?
Understood.
I have one other question to ask, but why don't we take a vote on this first? Okay? So you want to make a motion?
I move that we accept the application as presented with the 12 conditions so read.
Kurt, second it?
I second that.
Okay, Kurt? Yes or no?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
And Barney, yes. Question I had. If I go back to the application, who signed on behalf of Rodman? Any idea?
No, I don't know.
I don't, you got the signature, didn't you?
Because it's blank. I mean, it has somebody's signature, but it's just blank as far as who the individual is.
Oh, it doesn't have the
If you-
name?
Can I take a look?
Yeah.
It has a bleh.
It's probably Curtis.
There's a Brett too, I think, isn't
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like Brett. It looks like Brett.
Okay,
Wait a minute, which one is it?
Where do you see
Where is it?
right here.
there? Subject only
Right there.
property.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. It's either one of the two. It's either Curtis or Brett.
Okay, okay, fair enough. And that's it.
Okay.
Unlike in other towns, the sign bylaw here is not part of the zoning bylaw, so there's no registry filing requirement.
Okay,
Okay?
very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Great.
Thank you
Appreciate
all, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Minutes, right?
Yes, I sent them out. They were from October 20th. I didn't get anything back from anybody, so I'm assuming you all read them and love them the way they are.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
So, somebody want to make a motion?
I move to accept the minutes.
Lorraine, you want
Second?
to? Okay. Kim?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
And Barney, yes. We do have an application for next month. You know, in addition to the continuance of the 40B, we have an application for a garage.
For a freestanding garage, oversized garage.
Okay.
So we'll obviously handle that one first.
Deadline for applications is Tuesday because of Thanksgiving, so I haven't heard from anybody else.
There will be, although it'll be in January as opposed to December, a request to convert one side of a static billboard to electronic, and that's the one that we approved a couple of years ago for Lamar. It's on Greg Spears' property.
Okay.
And then a few months ago,
had to
we
Move.
we modified it to change the location, because it was within the 10 feet. Now, initially, we thought that was going to be December, but it looks like it's going to be January.
Okay. So that's
And-
the one in between Dunkin' Donuts and an office building?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. And I think that is it.
No, that's all I got.
Good. So Kurt, again, December 15th, we'll have a lot to do that night.
Okay, I'll be there.
You know, we'll do the garage first. You know, I assume we're not going to have anything between now and Tuesday.
Hope not.
And then we'll, launch into the 40B, and then we'll see where we go from there. So,
And we do have to deal with the bills for environmental partners. The first one we voted on at a meeting, so we have 2 new bills, but we'll vote
Yeah.
on them during the hearing.
yep. I think we're going to need some more money.
Yeah, because if I pay those 2 bills, it'll be back under 5,000 again. So
Okay.
I don't know if we can get a sense of how much more they think it's gonna be.
Okay.
Then we probably have to, if they're approved, you'll need more money for afterwards, because they'll have to approve the final plans unless the building commissioner wants to take that on.
Yeah.
That's something else that you gotta think about too. In the past, we haven't used, Beals and Thomas never reviewed the final plans, that always went through the building commissioner, so,
Okay.
I don't know if you wanna keep it
Let's
that
assume-
way,
That's assuming we get there.
yeah.
So anything else?
Nothing else?
Kurt, anything else?
Nothing on my end, no.
So,
Happy
motion
Thanksgiving to everybody.
Motion to adjourn?
Happy Thanksgiving.
I move to adjourn and happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, second it? Lorraine?
Second?
Second.
So we got a second. Kurt?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Me, yes. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Thank you.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Thank you.